Good morning. It's Beckie Belote here. I'm a creative memories advisor from Newport News, Virginia. And today I want to just show you a few border combinations. And also to just let you know that um, there is a huge new product release going on right now. So if you haven't checked that out, you should probably check that out. If you don't have an advisor, I would love for you to check it out on my page, which is www.creativememories.com/users/ my name, Becky, like that, Beckie, and my last name is Belote, Belote. I always am grateful for surprise orders, and so I would appreciate you considering me if you don't have an advisor. Um, but there's a lot of new stuff. If you have a lot of projects that you want to be working on, if you're one of those that have multiple projects going all the time, if you're one of those that loves to get all the new tools, you should probably consider being an advisor because it is fun. It's fun to be an advisor. You'll get support from our advisor, Salesforce, our sisterhood, our team. Um, but it's just a great way to make a little bit of money or a lot of bit of money from your habit. So, anyways, consider it. Let me know if that's something that you have interest in. But along with all the new stuff, and there's a lot of new stuff, you'll see that under the new tab. We also have some deals going on. So you might want to hit the deals tab because there's all kinds of punches, and that's kind of what inspired me today is to just do some border combinations to show you how you can mix something that you have with something that you may not have, or maybe you have all of them and you just get a totally new look from that border. Because speaking of those deals, there are lots of punches right now that you can get for half off. So that's very exciting. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to change my screen a little bit. That's me again. There we go. All right. So one thing I was playing around with this morning is my geometric. So most of you probably have this. If you do not have geometric, I will tell you that most of the punches that were released with geometric are have been pulled, which means I believe this one will be pulled soon. So if you are a collector and you did not get this one, you should get it. So what I am doing is I have put the piece of paper in line with that little black mark there. I started there. And now what I'm doing is I'm using the blue pattern underneath to as my guide to make sure, in other words, I don't want to see any of that blue, to make sure I am doing perfect border here. Geometric, you get more bang for your buck because this particular punch is also a frame punch, which means you can go around objects with it instead of just border. So I highly recommend this one if you don't have it. This will be a collector's item when it is gone. All right. And then I'm going to pair with that slide reel. Slide reel came out. It sold out within probably a couple weeks of its release. And it not too long ago was released back. Again, I'm putting my piece of paper in at that line. And I am going to do a border now with this. All right, same strategy. I'm using the pattern. I'm covering it up so that I see no blue, just the blue of my paper and silver in all the holes. This one is a really easy one to do. Some of them are harder to line up. Not this one. This is crazy easy. You'll like this one if you don't have it. All right. Well, let's take a look at how pretty this looks together. Um, Not able to see that very well, so I'm going to do a little, and I'm going to get all of this um punch punch poop out of the way. All right, so look at that. Is that a beautiful combination? Almost I almost feel like the black underneath is not giving me the look that I want you all to see. Let me pull out another contrast so you can see a little bit better what I want you to see. All right, so isn't that beautiful? The combination. And you can go down, you can go up, you can skew it a little bit for a different look, but I like that together. All right, so that's one look. What if I'm going to go ahead and do another row of this one. I'm going to do this one faster because you all saw this one already. All right, so another thing that you can do is use more than one of these together. I think more of one of those together looks really cool. I also like them off-centered a little bit, so you can do that. Another thing that I like to do with these is I like to use my hole punch. And you can do this. I don't think I've showed you all this yet. Well, I know I showed my scrapbookers the other day at NSD, but I'm not sure I've showed you all yet. Because these struggling today with what I'm trying to do. Because of these little guys go running across horizontally here in the middle, you can use your hole punch to put holes right smack in the middle of these. And that's kind of a fun thing to do to get a different look too. And if I've already showed you that, I apologize. I get things all start running together. But I'm going to use my hole punch. By the way, don't forget, I tend to forget to empty my hole punch. And so don't forget to do that. But anyways, what I am doing is there's a little screw in the top that runs horizontally. I am lining up that horizontal screw with those little notches here, making sure that it appears that I'm kind of centered by looking through this little window right here to the two top ones. All right, and that will help you. And you can do it all the way across or just do a couple. But I really like the way that looks. I think that this will also make great fireworks. Just going to do a couple to give you an idea of how different that looks just by adding those little things. They kind of look like flowers. So it kind of gives you some different looks, and you can also thread through them. So let's go ahead and grab my trimmer. And again, I could go all the way across and get a weave all the way across. I haven't done this where I just did partial, but I'm curious as to what it looks like. I'm lining up my paper just to the edge of that mat strip there. All right, and then I am going to thread it in and out and over all of this, and then in and out these little holes, and see what we've got. All right, so we've got this look here, which is kind of cool. If I flip it the other way, we get this instead. All right, so, and again, you could have gone all the way across. I kind of like this. I kind of like tricking what people think that maybe you should do. I really like this a lot. So anyways, super cute, either direction. And then again, what if we put this all back together? Let me go back to the yellow. What if I go with this one on top of this one to remind you of what a really nice combination pairing them together goes. All right, is that cool? All right, that takes care of that. Another thing I wanted to show you, what if we cut this in half and you can use it with your trimmer You want to put the middle, again, we've got this really handy dandy visual line with all of those little holes right down the horizontal of this. I am going to put those in the hole there, and I'm going to double check that because I'm not confident that's in the middle. It is not in the middle. Love that feature of our trimmer, don't you? Yeah, that's better. Make sure I didn't shift it down here. Um, not enough to matter. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that down the middle. Now watch this. This is another look that I think that you'll like. What if you put one down and then put this one a little bit askew so that it looks kind of like a worm. All right. And then I'm going to take this yellow strip that I showed you how to cut a second ago, and I'm going to hide. Actually, I'm not because I want it to be a contrasting color. Let's go with the purple. Do it again. So I'm lining it up to the edge of the mat strip. That's all you need. Just a slither. Right. This is going to be longer than 12 inches because of the way that I have lined them up. I'm going to put this one on the edge. I'm going to let this one go over. We're going to trim that one off a little bit when we get ready to stick this border down. We're just going to cover up that middle. Oopsies. What do you think about that? Isn't that pretty? All right, so that's another real cool border that you can try. Gives a totally different look, doesn't it? All right, so we have used slide reel. We have used geometric. Hopefully you have them both. If you don't have them both, they are both still available. All right, so another combination that I really love a lot is, believe it or not, the new scalloped crochet blended with rainbow riffle. And what is important about this is new. So you may not have had the opportunity to get this one yet. This one is on sale for 50% off. All right, so instead of $29, you can get this beauty for $14.50. It's actually one of my faves. All right, so let's take a look at what beautiful things we can do with this. I'm going to start with my purple. And I am going to do the rainbow ripple with that one. All right, this one has a little help with it. It's got a little blue triangle here and a little triangle that pops out on the paper. I don't know if you can see that or not. But that triangle matches up with that triangle to give you a little extra help in lining it up. So any of them that have been harder to use, the company has come to our rescue to make sure we don't goof it up. Right? And like this. This is a really fun look. If I were using double-sided paper, all of these guys will go back into the holes. I showed a demo not too long about that. So I like those for mixing and matching, making your border a little bit different. But anyways, right now I'm not using those for this look. This one is going to be ornate enough without having to add anything else. All right, so I'm going to do it again now, this time with the crochet scallop. It might be scallop crochet. I'm not sure. Let me look up at the wall. Oh, I don't have any. I sold them all at my National Scrapbook Day. So maybe scallop crochet. That sounds better. All right, lining it up to the mark there. This one also has a little help, has a little triangle. For whatever reason, I don't have a piece to match up with that triangle, but it doesn't matter. Oh, there we go. There's that little piece. This one, I don't even feel like it needs it. There's so much going on to line up with, but they put it there anyways. That could be helpful to some of you that struggle with lining them up with the blue pattern underneath. All right, so that's that. Get all this out of the way again. All right, a little bit of something there I don't like. Probably, actually, let me see if I can go one more time and clean that up. Yeah. All right. Could have trimmed it off, but it was big enough that I thought we could fix it better another way. All right, so I'm going to plop that down and look at how pretty this looks in combination. So really pretty ornate border. Pretty confident you could go the other direction as well to get different looks. So I did a page layout with this and I was just so in love with it. I wanted to make sure I showed that to you today. So this is what I did with the All American line. All American is brand new. It's in honor of all of those patriotic things we may do. And I used that with this, combining the rainbow with the scalloped crochet. Isn't that pretty? This is a great bundle to get. I know that you're going to need this for the summer. It's only $26 for the whole line. By the way, if you spend $110 when you're shopping, until I don't know when this promotion ends, but today is the 20th, and I know it's in process right May 20th. You can get it right now. If you spend 110, they're going to give you one of those pod inserts. They have them featured on the website right now. It's one of my favorite products. They fit nice into all of our totes. Even if you don't have one of our totes, it's just a great little product. I have them all over the place in my office because I like to separate things that are, that I use when I go to my bigger crops. I don't like to take all of my totes. I like to take the smaller ones, the ones that I know have papers and stuff in them that I will be using that weekend instead of everything that I have. So I think you'll love them. They're very fun looking, and you get one for free when you spend $110. So this is a $26 line if you get all of it, the papers, the stickers, and the embellishments. The embellishments, many of them have holographs on them. So when you go like this, they're really pretty. I think I showed you that before. These are the ride-on strips. It's another favorite product of mine for when you do journaling. You can just ride on these strips. And in the new section, you're going to see these ride-on strips in black and also in ivory. All right. So if you like the ride-on strips, you're going to definitely want them in the new colors as well. All right. So I wanted to show you that. All right. Another combination that I have been playing with is with damask and dollop art. So let's play around with that. I'm going to go ahead and use, do I have enough to do the same colors? Probably, so that I don't waste. Let me grab my trimmer and just get rid of this beautiful piece here. All right. And I am going to do the dollop arch first. Actually, I don't think I am, only because I don't think my piece of paper is big enough to do what I wanted to do with that. I'm going to do, this is damask, again, a very old punch. Yeah, a very old punch. That is probably one of my faves. So if you don't have it, you want it. This, like the geometric, is a frame punch, which I'm not talking about framing today, but it means you get more bang for your buck. They do more than one thing. They do more than just making a border. All right. So that is one of the really nice things about these two. We don't have a ton of them at any one time in our line. So you should always get them when you can. All right, so this is damask, and isn't it beautiful? Isn't that gorgeous? You can see why I like it. I love the really elegant ones that really could be used on almost anything. All right, and now I'm going to give it a totally different look by adding a border made with the dollop arch. So let's grab the purple and let's do dollop arch. Lined it up with the line. Ah, frame punch too. Do that on purpose. We don't really have that many. It's really ironic. The ones that I did grab are frame punches with the exception of Rainbow Arch today and Slide Fiddle. So how cool is that? All right, so there is Dollop Arch. Now what I would like you to do on that one is cut it at 2 1/4 inch. So 2 is very obvious. Your 1/4 inch is just one railroad track up. One railroad track will be 2 1/4. All right, and now we're going to do it again. Let me get rid of my scraps. All right. And because now I don't have a really thick border, my first punch I am going to need to do upside down. So what I'm going to do is remind you how to do it. You fill this frame so that the piece of paper is completely filling that hole underneath. And that is exactly where it would be if the paper was long enough for me to line up to that mark. All right, that's the only time I have to do that. Now I should be able to do it normal and follow the pattern underneath. Let's go ahead and finish this up. You're going to love this one. So this is Dollop Arch with Damask. Actually, that punch is called Damask Flourish is the full name of that. How do I know? Because I'm looking at a box on my wall right now. So I would never remember that. All right. And then actually, let me get some of this distraction out of your way. I'm going to go ahead and clean this piece of paper up for you so that you can see. I'm going to cut it at a 2 inch. Nope, because I don't have room to do that. Let's do 1 3/4. 1 3/4. Yeah. All right, just cleaning it up a little bit. And now let's see how this looks together. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. And just for the fun of it, do I have? I don't. All I have is this navy blue one that I cut in half, but we're going to throw that in there just for the fun of it and see what happens. It's probably going to be too much. I got already a lot going on with those two borders. What if we just put a half of it in there? What do you think about that? That's kind of pretty, isn't it? What about if we put a half in there with the other half of this? All right. Just for fun. Just playing today. All right. And then last but not least, I could not end my demonstration without giving you some tips on the notebook border maker cartridge. The reason why this is perfect timing for that is the notebook border maker cartridge is also on sale. And it is one that I find that some people have chosen not to get because they don't think they'll ever need it. But I think it's a good one. I'm going to show you a page that I made with it. It's just kind of a ragged look. So this has nothing to do with notebooks. But it's pretty anyways, isn't it? It's kind of a really nice look that could go with anything. Um, so this is with on the court embellishments. That's where these came from, if you're wondering, if you're basketball fans. And then this right here, I did just a little bit on the edge of a mat that I've actually perforated with my trimmer to have little lines on it. I don't know if you can see that or not. So that when we go to journal that, we have little lines to go by. So it's mimicking notebook paper. So they put it on sale to go with the new lines that just came out that are very conducive to working on legacy albums. And I think it's a perfect timing for that because a lot of times I know my mother wrote on notebook paper and she would, out a spiral notebook and she would pull it out and she'd leave me little notes of all my chores with her little smiley face down at the bottom. So I know that that is nostalgic for notes and stories. So I think it's perfect for that. So in case you don't know how to use the border maker, I'm going to go ahead and show that real fast with the notebook. And again, this one is usually around $20 and it's on sale for just 10 this week. All right, so maybe even just a little longer than that. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up. So we can use this light blue as a journal box. And whatever size you want. I like, I'm gonna go ahead and do 4 inches by 3 inches, maybe 3.5. Let's do 3.5. There was no rhyme or reason to why I picked that, boys and girls. Doesn't matter. All right. But I did do the even number on purpose. So the 3.5 didn't matter, but I did my even number on purpose because of the segments in our border make. Curious if I really did it right. Let's see. That's 3.5, and that is 4. All right. Put it back in. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go once and twice, and that should cover it completely. Any even number will work nicely. I was questioning myself because the way it was falling, but I guess it was exactly right. So isn't that cute? Wouldn't that be cute for a journal box? And then just to remind you, in case you do not have the perforating blade, you can do this with perforating or scoring. I prefer perforating because it's not hard to see. You all know I wear glasses. I really can see fine at distance, but I do need my glasses close up. And what I'm doing is I'm lining up the edge of this to a line. Any line doesn't matter. And I'm going to go ahead and do my first perforating all the way across that journal box. And then what I'm going to do is take where it was and I'm going to move it 2 railroad tracks over and do it again and again until my box is done. So 2 more railroad tracks, very easy to do. 2 more railroad tracks, 2 more railroad tracks. And then you've got this beautiful journal box ready to tell your stories on. So this would work in any scrapbook. It doesn't have to be a legacy scrapbook. And it's just a quick way to add a journal box if you don't have one available to you. All right. So this is the Notebook Border Maker cartridge. I highly recommend it. The blade that I'm using is the blade that comes with your trimmer. Doesn't come with your trimmer, but you can add it onto your trimmer. We have lots of blades to choose from, and that one was called the perforating. All right. So I hope that I gave you some ideas on some things. And by the way, um, this line, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I was gonna tell you that this was the back to school line, but it's not. It's just the on the cord embellishment. So I just coordinated the school colors with the embellishments, and so and those embellishments are super expensive. So I mean, super inexpensive. So that's not going to help you very fast to get your 110. But if you're trying to get to 110, think pages, think portrait, what is it? Pocket, 12 by 12 pocket pages. Think organizers. Do you have your cup caddy yet? This is not cup caddy. Oh, I didn't say that by accident. I know a lot of you are wanting one of those and we're out of them right now. But this, you have this? I love it. This is a great thing if you're trying to hit that 110. Extra tape runner refills. Who can't use more tape runner refills? Anyways, hope I've given you some ideas. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed playing. Thank you for your continued prayers for my husband. He's getting a little bit better every day. And I do feel those prayers coming. Right now, he has a slight bit of an infection. So if we could pray that the antibiotics are going to be successful for this and cleaning it up. Otherwise, the doctors feel like he's getting around ahead of schedule walking wise, and he's standing up straight and laying flat in the bed for the first time in literally a couple years. So I'm pleased to see that. So thank you all so much for your prayers. Have an amazing week, and we'll see you next time.